You spent more hours living inside your own head than you ever spent living your actual life, and by the time you realize it, you'll have to decide if any of it was worth it. Level 1. The classroom window. You are 8. The teacher's voice fades into a hum. You're gone before you even notice leaving. You're standing on a ship deck now, wind on your face, a storm rolling toward you that only you can see. Someone says your name. You blink. 30 kids are staring. You don't know the question. You never do. The teacher sighs, not angry, just tired of you. You look down. Your notebook margins are full of castles, creatures, a door you don't remember drawing, but you recognize it instantly. The lesson moves on without you. It always does. At recess, you sit against the fence alone, eyes open, somewhere else completely. It isn't loneliness, it's the opposite. It's the fullest you'll feel all day. You don't know it yet, but this habit is about to become the only thing that keeps you sane. Level 2. The escape habit. You are 11. Home is a held breath now. A door slams hard enough to rattle glass. You learn to leave without leaving. You lie on your bed, stare at a water stain shaped like a continent, gone in seconds. Somewhere quieter, somewhere you built, somewhere no voice ever cracks with anger. This stops being accidental. You start doing it on purpose. The second things get loud downstairs, you're already gone. Nobody can follow you there. Nobody can hurt you there. You get good at this fast. Too fast. You learn to keep your face still while your mind runs. Your grades slip. Your mother catches you mid-bite at dinner, fork frozen, eyes fixed on nothing. She asks if you're okay. You say you're fine. You're not lying exactly. You're just not there when you say it. Level 3. The label. You are 13. A counselor's office. Stale coffee. Your report card between you. Red ink circling 3 classes. Words get used that will follow you for years. Unfocused. Underperforming. Not living up to potential. Nobody asks what you were actually thinking about. Nobody asks what's behind the stare. They just see a kid not paying attention and build an entire story around it. Lazy, unmotivated. It's not true, but it's simpler than the truth, so it sticks. Your father starts sitting across from you at homework time, arms crossed, watching your pencil like it might stop on its own. It doesn't help. You just learn to hide the drifting better, nodding on delay, faking eye contact. And somewhere in you, quietly, you start believing it too. Maybe something really is wrong with you. You don't know yet that the thing they're punishing you for is the sharpest tool you'll ever own. You just don't have anywhere to point it. Level 4. The second life. You are 16. The world in your head isn't small anymore. It has geography now, characters, plot lines that continue from one day to the next, like a show only you can watch. You know these places better than your own street. An entire history class disappears once you resolve a storyline that took weeks to build. A rescue, a betrayal, a reconciliation. The bell rings. You couldn't tell anyone what the lesson covered. You could tell them exactly how your story ended, down to the weather. This world starts to feel more real than your actual one. You cry once, quietly, alone over a goodbye scene you invented. A person who doesn't exist. It should embarrass you. It doesn't feel like nothing, though. It feels like the most honest grief you've had in months. You start a notebook just for this world. You hide it at the bottom of a drawer, like evidence. You don't know yet what this second life is going to cost you in the first one. Level 5. The cost. You are 20, on a real date. Somewhere around the second glass of water, your mind slips out the side door. You miss a sentence. You nod anyway. They notice. They always notice eventually. A friend says it half joking. Talking to you feels like talking to someone who's only 70% there. A job interview slips away because you blanked mid-answer, gone for 4 seconds too long. You start seeing the gap now between the version of your life that plays behind your eyes, vivid and controlled, and the one happening in front of you, slower, messier, full of people who deserve more of your attention than you're giving them. A relationship ends. Nobody says the real reason out loud. You weren't fully in the room, even when your body clearly was. You don't stop daydreaming. You don't know how. But for the first time, you feel exactly what it's been quietly taking from you. Level 6. The Reckoning. You are 25, awake at 2 a.m., doing math you didn't mean to start. Roughly how many hours spent on conversations that never happened, victories you never earned, intimacy with people who exist only behind your own eyes. The number stops feeling abstract. It feels like a second life you've been living in parallel, one that somehow feels more finished than the real one. You think about the version of you who was brave at 16, inside a daydream. Then you think about the real you, who has never once said the hard, true thing to someone who needed to hear it. The daydream self is brave. The real self hides. You sit with that for longer than feels comfortable. Then something shifts. You realize the two versions were never actually separate. Same imagination, same depth. Just aimed the wrong way your whole life. Nobody ever told you the thing they punished you for could be the exact thing that saves you if you finally pointed it outward. Level 7. The Redirection. You are 28. For the first time, you write one of the stories down instead of letting it evaporate by morning. It's clumsy, nowhere near as vivid on paper as it felt in your head. But it exists now, outside of you. And that changes everything about its weight. You keep going. Same well you've been drawing from since you were 8, staring past a chalkboard, except now the water goes somewhere. A story becomes a manuscript. A stranger reads it and tells you it moved them. For the first time, you understand. Those years weren't wasted. They were training, disguised as distraction. You still drift sometimes, mid-conversation, mid-meeting. That part of you never fully quiets. But now you catch the good material on the way out instead of losing it to a ceiling stain and 90 minutes of silence. The daydreaming never left. It just finally found a door. Level 8. The cycle continues. You're in a cafe, working. A kid at the window table, maybe 9, notebook open, pencil untouched, eyes fixed on a spot that means nothing to anyone else in the room. Their parent nudges them twice. They blink back, apologize without meaning it, and drift right back out within seconds. You know that stillness. You lived inside it for 20 years. You almost want to walk over, tell them it's not what it looks like, that there's an entire universe behind that stare, and one day, someone will stop calling it a flaw. You don't say anything. You just watch them drift back into whatever they're building the same way you did once, at a desk. Someone else's voice fading into background noise, a new mind quietly disappearing into itself, with no idea yet what it's carrying behind its eyes.